You really need to work on making change, save point guy. Feels like I've been here for months. Anyway, hello. Welcome back to Shantae Risky's Revenge. Last time we picked up coffee beans and a coffee maker. So, Mimic, do you want to repair this coffee maker? Well, I guess not. I guess he is more of an artifact guy, so he wouldn't be into making repairs. He just collects old things. He doesn't make coffee makers go good again. That's a separate department, which is apparently headed by Sky's bird. Oh well, anyway, we've just been told where to go, so let's go there. So here's Sky. I sure do. I know, that is a problem. Alright, so you want to know why the bird's called Wrench? Well, you're not really going to see why, but you kind of get it, right? Shantae's standing here because she had to stand here to talk to Sky, but, you mostly get the joke. Don't know why this is the song we're using for that, though. And yeah, here's the payoff for the start of the game, where Shantae was egg-sitting for Sky, and did a very bad job of it, because she just left the egg in the middle of the beach, just in the sunlight. Thankfully, though, it's actually a good thing that Shantae did that, because it means we can put this awful egg in this coffee. I think we owe you many. Alright, I'm done sucking up. See you later. Sky, however, will also mention 2 new moves that we're going to want to find. So yeah, relics that we may or may not be able to progress without. We're going to assume we may not progress without them, so let's go find them then. Now, it's been a while, so I forget if I've stated this before, but enemies do change in the overworld over time, so we've got these jerks, we're gonna have more poison scarecrows at this point, so it's not the easiest trek around the world, but we mostly want to go to the desert. That being said, this episode is actually going to be most of the cleanup of this game. Yeah, no, there's actually not going to be much cleanup at all in the after the next dungeon. We're getting most of this game's last things in this one. It's not really a great variety of things, though, right? Like, alright, so I'm just gonna say I really don't like this game's overworld, if I'm being 100% honest. It's not entirely the reason it's taken me so long to get back into this, it's just my usual recording times weren't good for recording times, so stuff happened, but it didn't help that we had this overworld trek, and also the dungeon after this is one that I looked at, and I was like, I'm not looking forward to this. Guess which one I liked less, though? But yeah, no, like, the overworld manages to be, like, it's not the biggest overworld, but it still feels like it takes enough time to be noticeable when you want to traverse it. Like, actually getting through it is pretty quick, but I already feel like this is kind of played out, this general path. And most of where we will be as well. The desert also feels like it's a little old. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that it feels like a level, and so having to cross it in basically its entirety is not the most fun. It's not like that's a problem that the original game didn't have. In fact, I'd actually say the enemies in this game are easier to deal with. Also, real quick, there are multiple solutions to this. You can either use the Puff Cloud, which is not the easiest method, or you could use the upgraded Fire. That's called Spitfire. But basically, yeah, that one shoots 3 fireballs. You don't really have a good angle to shoot these normally with a fireball, but the triple fire should actually manage to hit it. The satellite, however, the pike balls, no, don't use those. They're not useful. Like, unless your timing is task-like, you will probably just wind up getting hit if you try to hit them with the pike balls. But yeah, no, the cloud's a little finicky and dissipates quickly, but I don't have Spitfire yet, so this is what I'll be using. I'll have the upgraded fireballs soon enough, but, you know, I decided I wanted to go with this first. I'm not disappointed in the pike ball, honestly. This is my favorite set of items in the game. They're just real helpful. It's nice having a shield that does damage. Yeah, anyway, where was I before? Oh yeah, like, the overworld. Like, the enemies in it aren't as bad, and there's no day-night cycle, so enemies don't just randomly get tougher, so in that way, this game definitely has a better overworld than the original Shantae. But it has similar problems, and making things easier isn't really enough to make me actually like it. It just makes it slightly less annoying, but like, there is a bit too much of it, and the rewards you get in it aren't particularly interesting. Like, I don't know, something about heart holders as compared to like Zelda's heart containers is less interesting to me. Maybe because it's so infrequent? That's a weird one. I don't know why my brain does not care about getting the heart containers in this game. You'd think being rarer would make them more desirable, but I don't know, maybe it's because it sneaks up on me, right? Like, eventually I will just randomly get a heart container and it's like, oh cool, I guess I got that instead of a magic gem for once. But I don't know, just nothing reward-wise really excites me. The magic gems themselves, like, that's the most plentiful reward you get for doing platforming sections, but it's used to unlock items that are more interesting than the jam itself. We've also got this, though. Here's one of the relics we were looking for. This is the Elephant Stomp, which is basically just the elephant's normal charge move, but downwards instead of to the sides. I don't remember how useful this is overall. We'll use it a few times, but I don't recall it getting much use. But yeah, we're gonna want that, and there's one more item, which is actually pretty close by. We're gonna pass the battle tower right there. Also, this game has the same sin of you have to go back to the dungeons. That was also an original Shantae thing, which I didn't appreciate there, and I don't like that they kept that. I guess Battle Tower's a little better because instead of being like an item hidden in a dungeon and you kind of have to remember the path to take to get to that item, you just do the dungeon a second time, which is also annoying, but it's straightforward at least. I don't know. I don't think I'm really selling it well, and I don't really think it's that much better, but yeah, it's either do the dungeon a second time explicitly, or do the dungeon up to the point where you remember a thing that you couldn't do anything about. In this case, it's always water. And when I say always water, I mean since the first dungeon. That's the only dungeon we've been to that has stuff in it, because again, Battle Tower is Battle Tower. There's no exploration, you just charge through it. But yeah, just... again, I'm happy that this game has better teleportation, and that while the enemies can still be a bit of a pain, they are not the HP sponges that some of Shantae 1's enemies can be, so it's not as bad to get through the overworld. But it's still not ideal, and I can't wait for Shantae to actually be level-based, because I think it does that better. Like, again, these really are just kind of levels placed in a way that you can call an overworld because you have to cross it multiple times. It's all interconnected. I will say, though, definitely glad that they changed the teleporter system, not just from the original game, but from the original version of this game, too. I did look up a map. I'm not going to... oh, how strange. Well, I can burn this down, but, this is just gems. Oh, but look at that item. That's in a place that we won't be able to escape from with our current build. Thankfully, though, this is where you get Monkey Bullet, allowing us to actually leave this room. When you attach to a wall, you can jump off of it by pressing the attack button, and you just go flying like, not that, but... that. But yeah, no, like, in the original Risky's Revenge... Again, not gonna post the map because it's very clear, what its permissions are, and it's, you know, just for the sites it's on. By the way, you might have noticed, but yeah, no, at this point I've kind of stopped caring about doing a no-hit run. Especially at that point. I have already been up and down this area without getting hit, and down is also pretty terrible to do. I did not want to get through all of what I've done since the save point, just to have to redo it after getting hit there. I am kind of tired of the reruns of this. I've just decided it's not particularly worth it. I'll try not to be too sloppy in my runs, but also I'm not gonna sweat getting hit, especially for just overworld cleanup. Anyway, if I could stop interrupting myself, yeah, I won't show the map, but I will say, if you need a reminder, the teleporters basically only went to one other teleporter in the original version. And basically those connected teleporters within areas, so like, the field had a set of 2 teleporters, the forest has a set of 2 teleporters, the desert has one deep in the desert and one, like, right before it. And the worst set of teleporters, which are the ones in the coast. We've only seen one of those, but one's at the end of one given area. The other is partway through the other side of the coast area. It sucks. I'm so glad all teleporters connect in this version. That was a very good idea. It makes things less tedious. And like, while technically speaking the connecting teleporters make sense in the original, in terms of like where they connect to, you know, you're basically going from the start of one area to part way through, if not the end of it, it still sucks. They should just all be connected. That was still a better system than the original Shantae, though. Just the warp squid baby thing was bad. It was bad, and I did not care for it. Anyway, though, at this point, I'm just gonna speed up the video so that you know where I go to find new items, but otherwise, I don't have too much else to say. I'll just talk in circles if I don't skip past stuff. But I won't make hard cuts, because then it might be hard to follow. Alright, so if you use Monkey Bullet right here, there's a wall over here with Magic Jam. Again, not much of a surprise. You can also use Monkey Bullet as a shortcut so you don't have to go through the caves. That's appreciated. It would be nice if there were more overworld shortcuts, but... oh well, 'twas not to be. There are a few here and there, but not enough. Okay, so next off, we're back in town because, as I said before, I would be getting the upgraded fire, just not at the start where it could be useful elsewhere. It will, however, be necessary soon, so I need Spitfire now, and I only have the one jam, but I guess I'll also buy the upgraded Puff, which is actually a completely different item. Well, I mean, at least mostly different. It's still the same spirit of, like, the massive damage item, but less finicky to use, but also different to use. It's gonna be a while before I actually show it off, though, so I'll leave you with that mystery for now. Okay, so do you remember this item? Well, what you might not realize about the Elephant Stomp is it also breaks things above you. Okay, so like, that's not a complete non sequitur. I can see how that's a thing you'd be able to do, but also, I don't know if causing a quake on the ground to affect something above you is something that's ever a thing you need to do outside of that one item? Which, you'd think that would be something they would play with more, but I guess not. I guess they just did the mix-up for that particular item and said good enough. No more of that. Because, yeah, no, I can't think of anywhere else you use that in the game. I also can't think of anywhere else we use the Elephant Stomp off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure we have to use that at least one time. We gotta go over here, where there's a platforming section I couldn't do before because I didn't have Spitfire. So, this is the only way you can actually hit that wood block up there. However, even if you have Spitfire, you also need Monkey Bullet in order to make it to this edge over here. And then we have us set up for another one. You don't necessarily need Spitfire for this one. And in fact, really there's only one angle you can actually, or not angle, but elevation, you can hit these blocks with. But it's very annoying to actually land, so just use the version of Fireball that doesn't actually waste as much magic and you should be fine. And for that we get another Magic Jam. Alright, so I would say that's it for this area, but it's actually really annoying actually getting out of here. So, whoops. Oh well. It's really just a big pain. Like, I had other takes where I also messed up monkey bulleting back to safety, and I was tired of that section in general. Maybe that's another reason I don't really care for many of the collectibles in this game, even the heart containers, is that sometimes the puzzle rooms are just kind of annoying. In fact, we'll be seeing one of my least favorite, I believe, in this episode. That'll be coming up soon. But yeah, maybe I just don't like running those puzzles, so like, even when I do get a heart container, it just feels empty to me. Because it was just annoying to get it. Alright, so where's that platforming section? So, let's see, cave, where are you, buddy? Where are you? It's not in the pits, I can tell you that. Again, I am glad the pits are labeled. That's actually a nice bit of design there. Okay, here's the cave. So this is the one I really don't like. So this is another Monkey Bullet one, but it's a Monkey Bullet platforming section where the platforming is just uncomfortable. Especially this jump right here. I hate this one. You kind of have to Monkey Bullet over here and then off of that, and I don't know. That one just feels finicky, and I don't like it. It's a hard needle to thread, and on top of everything else that is overworld exploration in this episode, this one being saved for last, wasn't my idea of a good time. Did not put me in any better a mood about the overworld. That being said, I believe that's actually just about it for the optional stuff to do. I ended off on that particular one, though, because our next destination is on the east side of the pier. So we're gonna finish this part of the coast, we'll be back at Shantae's house, and then I'm absolutely going to save in town before we move on to the east. You better believe that I saved after this. I mean, you better believe that I saved at every opportunity, to be fair. I spared no opportunity to visit the save point, man. So, we're going to murder this stone man over here, and then I'm going to go save, because it's necessary. Alright, so, I did do that off-screen though, so now we're in Mermaid Cliffs without any further delay. So, true to the name, we've got mermaid enemies here, and I will say, love the design, good sprite work here. They are very annoying enemies to deal with, though. They are timed horribly for my sense of dodging. So when they look serious and they kind of hold themselves back, that's when you know they're going to fire a bubble, and they can even do so off-screen. How kind of them to almost catch me off guard like that. They do also have a second attack, and you might be wondering, what could that possibly be? Well, you've already seen it. When they blow you a kiss, that's actually an attack. Did you notice the hearts they emanate after they do that? Yeah, no, that's an anti-air. If you try to jump over them and they blow you a kiss, the kiss is painful. Look, Shantae is hardly intimate with her friend. You think she's gonna accept a blown kiss from you? No. Anyway, like I said, getting tired of the overworld, and quite frankly, the enemy spawn here is ass. It's real bad. Enemies just keep appearing en masse, and it makes actually progressing through an area just kind of annoying. It is a chore to get through the areas with, like, random spawning as opposed to set enemies. I mean, the set enemies can surprise me well enough. She didn't. The other one did. But yeah, no, I actually hate the randomized room a lot more because the generator for those is too frequent. If you don't move through the area fast enough, then you're gonna get just flooded with enemies. It's a pain. Oh, is Monkey Bullet necessary? Oh, I think actually... you might be able to jump off of that platform, like, at the peak, and, like, maybe if you do that well enough, you can make that jump without Monkey Bullet. That being said, though, you absolutely should have Monkey Bullet for that jump to be safe. Even with Monkey Form, I would not want to do the former strategy. That just sounds stressful, and like it probably won't work. So I guess that's where Monkey Bullet is required. So, hey, Sky was right. I did need Monkey Bullet. Now let's see if Elephant Stomp is actually required anywhere. You're also my least favorite enemy, just because you're small. You're small and you fly, and that makes you a threat. Also, I do appreciate the death animation for the mermaids is just them turning into fish. But yeah, this whole stretch of level was just kind of draining for me. It's a long one, and again, there's just something about the mermaids that catches me off guard just about every time. Like, even when they're perfectly on screen, if I'm in the middle of whipping them and they suddenly take their serious face and attack me, unless I've done enough damage, they're probably gonna get me. I'm bad at timing the dismount on attacking them. Though I guess to be fair, that's kind of a problem I have in most games. But come on, when the opportunity to aggro is there, I take it. Why wouldn't I? If I don't take opportunities, then I'll miss opportunities. I know me. I only work in extremes. I have to have some glaring weakness. That's just my brain problem. Alright, I think, though, this is the final screen. We should be heading up on... There we go. I was getting kind of scared there. Alright, so... Abner and Poe, how's it going? Okay, look, I know it's been a while, I'm sorry. Look, Thursday is just render day, and therefore it's also upload day. I'm sorry. Don't you start with me. Don't you fucking start with me. Well, that's a terrible sentence you just said in 2 text boxes. I hope to never hear that description of coffee again. Alright, so here's how we get in. Explosives. Shantae extremely doesn't know what explosives are. We had to feed one dungeon to get in. This one we just blow up. Honestly, it's kind of satisfying considering everything I had to do to get here. And yeah, no, if she doesn't know what an explosive is in the first place, why would she know about explosive ignition? She wouldn't know anything about actually setting a bomb off when she doesn't know what a bomb is. So yeah, getting the lightning cloud is actually a necessity, so that you can blow up the gates. Now, there's also a reason they want you to have at least one item going forward. We'll get to that later, though. Don't know if the cloud is my favorite item to use in general. In fact, I can answer that. It's not, but... I mean, it's a powerful one, so I guess if you have to have anything to attack, it would be that. Also, pro tip, even if you're playing the original version instead of the director's cut version for some reason, I would actually suggest just taking the teleporter back to the other side. This is a rather long and difficult road to have to cross, and the way from left to right to get to the Hypno Baron's dungeon is honestly a lot easier than the right to left path that I'm taking right now, but I would like to show you that it is an option you can take, and how it probably takes around the same amount of time. Like, just getting back from the seaside retreat portion of it does mean that you have to have a little bit of time tacked on there, but I think that's the easier platforming section to deal with, or at the very least the faster one, because again, long-ass segment here. But once you actually get to, like, the mermaid zone, the left side is so much shorter. Plus, you can also stop in Scuttletown before, you know, you actually progress to the dungeon. There's a save point next to the dungeon, so it's not wholly necessary, but again, I spared no opportunity in this video to save. I would save as frequently as possible. I even edited out some of the saves I did go to Did you see me teleport? Not explicitly. You might have noticed the effects of it. But this has looked like a smooth run ever since I got to Mermaid Cliffs. But yeah, no, this particular screen just kind of tires me out. It's a bit repetitive and, again, pretty difficult. It's got a hard set of enemies to deal with. So, I guess what I mean to say is, pick your poison, and then get hit by a bubble. You can also do that. Alright, so, this is the end of the screen though, right? I think... Okay, thank goodness. Alright, that means we're at the dungeon now, so... Stick the plastic explosives here. And Shantae is going to learn what bombs are. Or, at the very least, dynamite. Well, no, that's really more of a C4 charge or whatever. Whatever you would call that. Alright, light it up, blow it up. The door seems mostly unfazed. I was kinda hoping the eye there would look freaked out, but whatever. All it can do is just look downwards. Anyway though, that's it for this part of Shantae Risky's Revenge. It's been a long time coming. Next time, we get to the dungeon that I thought would be worse. But actually, I had a better time with it.